disc golf, we're going to talk about what you need to disc golf: equipment, discs, a bag, and a couple other things. All right, let's just get started with the types of discs. Now, I made a previous video on vocabulary. And of course, I missed some. I know that. We might hit some of those in here. We'll see. Okay, there's 4 categories: putters, which are mid-ranges, fairways, and distance drivers. And just like in golf, you have putters, irons, and drivers. It's kind of similar. Putters are tall, fat. They don't go as far, and they go straighter. Mid-ranges go further, and then as you go up, fairways go even further, but their shape is different. And then distance drivers. So yes, you're going to get a lot further. They cut through. I'll show you. Okay, so here's a putter. See? Fat. Well, tall. Okay, compared to a mid-range. You're totally different. The camera, this is new. All right, so a lot taller. There's more area under here for your fingers. This is going to go way further, but it's also a lot more likely to turn and not go straight. All right. And then compare that to a fairway. See? Another completely different shape. See, this is much more bladed, comes out. So this is going to go even further, but harder to control, more likely to turn. Okay, and then I don't think I have any distance ones out right now. They're even more I have one here somewhere. There you go. So here's the fairway, and then this is, see if you can see, this is way more bladed. Then, and it will cut through the wind, which is helpful, but we'll talk about that. All right. All these, you'll hear the word understable versus stable and overstable. We're going to talk about what those are. Now let's talk about the flight numbers. You walk into a disc golf store and you see 100 discs and you're like, oh, these are so cool, you know, and you want to buy a certain color or whatever. Or, oh, look at that destroyer. Don't do it. Don't do it. You want to throw something slower. You want to start with putters and mid-ranges. And we'll talk about that, the flight numbers. All right. Here you go. Here's an example. Flight numbers. There's 4 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is your speed, glide, turn, and fade. There's a lot of videos out there explaining it perfect. Speed is what this disc has to be thrown at. It has to be spinning at a certain speed. Now, just to kind of picture speeds, they go from 1 to 14. So 14 is like the ultra fast speed. 12, 13s, 14s. You know, if you're a beginner, you have no business throwing any of those discs. I mean, you can, but they're just going to go out and not very far and boom, crash left every time. So it doesn't matter what those numbers are, they're not going to work for you. So don't do that. This is a 7. If you're a beginner, you probably won't have a 7 speed, but unless maybe I have a couple friends, they play baseball. And so if you kind of already have that movement of how to get power from your hips, translate to your shoulder, they can handle those, but I'd start with putters and mid-ranges. Putters might be 2, 3 speeds. Some of your mid-ranges would be 5, 4, 5. Some say 6 is a mid-range, but I think that's a fairway more so. Crave, one of the best discs ever. All right, so putters, stick to the 2, 3, 4, 5. If If you really want to venture into a 7 for a beginner, it's still probably not going to do what you want it to. Learn to throw first, get some of your basic throwing form tips down. And before long, you can throw some of those 6, 7, 8s. But this is a 2, I think, 2 or 3, and this is a 5. Start with these. And in fact, some will say start with the putters because they show you more what you're doing when you release. If you're releasing hyzer and hyzer, these show it better. I think they both did well for me. All right. So back to the numbers. So the first number, so this one's not printed on here, but it was 2302. So 2, it's gonna be easy. That's your speed. So these other numbers are gonna matter because most people can get this up to a 2. 2 speed is not much. 3 is glide. Glide is between 1 up to 7, I think. 6 is as high as you normally see. I think there is a 7. It's the river, I think. Well, there's the glitch, but we're not gonna talk about that. Anyway, glide is 3. So 3 is kind of in the middle. 4 or 5 would be more glide, which means if the disc is spinning at the speed it's supposed to, it will stay, that bubble will hold it up and it will stay spinning longer. More glide can translate to more distance. Okay, 2, 3, 0. The turn, you'll see 0 or -1, -2, -3, -4 even. That's how much will it move to the right after you throw it, if you throw it straight and if you throw it up to speed. So let's take this for example. Here's a disc that I dyed. We're gonna do a different video about that. It turned out really freaking awesome. The little bubbles, which was a total mistake. Gave it this starry look. We'll cover that later. Okay, so this is a 7, 6, -2, 1. 7, so if I get it up to a 7 speed, these other numbers matter. The 6, that's a lot of glide, since it's gonna hold that air and it's gonna go for a while. The next number is -2, which means it's gonna go right. Like if you took 2 steps off, to your right, that's where it's going. Rather than 1, it wouldn't move quite as much, but 2, it's gonna move more. 3 and 4 might even turn so much to dump over on a roller. Anyway, and then the last number is 1. So the last number is how much it's gonna come back left. That could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this one, if you throw it at a 7 speed and you release flat, it's gonna move further right than it is left. So -2, and it's gonna come back. So if thrown properly, it will end a little to the right of where you aim. So it's gonna go 2 over and 1 back. Does that make sense? Now if I throw this at a 4 or 5 speed, those numbers don't matter. It's just gonna go out and just dump to the left. It's not gonna probably get any good turn. You throw it at 3 or 4, you're a beginner, 2, 3, you throw this 7, you throw this, it's probably gonna go further than this, even though this is a 7. If you're throwing it at arm speed is a 3 and this is a 2, you'll get a full flight out of this putter. This, you won't get anything. It'll just go straight and boom. Just like, let's say you're getting up there and intermediate and the 7's going really well for you. You try throwing a 12, guarantee the 7 is gonna go way further than the 12. 12's just gonna go out and hardcore dump left. But it's a faster speed. No, that's, if you can get it up to a 12, then those numbers behind it matter. So remember that, those numbers matter. And if you have a question at those stores, ask the workers, they'll help you out. All right. Bags. You can get string backpacks, just hold a few bags. You can get shoulder backpacks, or you can get a full-on backpacks, depending on how many discs you want to carry. There's all kinds of videos of what all those are and the different types. I'm not going to do that. That's up to you. Lastly, water and snacks. Highly recommended, especially in Texas. Water, sometimes 2 waters. Snacks, and last but not least, the UDisc app. You got to get it. Whatever, $15 it is a year or something, is so worth it. keeps track of all your courses you've played, all your stats, everything. So here I am, 10-minute mark. Be good about that. And we'll see you on the next one.